spoiler alert, if you are looking for a deck that takes you out of your everyday mind and draws you into a deep place of deep mystical wisdom, a place that grows you beyond what you know with your conscious mind into the deep unconscious, this is the deck for you. Welcome, magical card readers. April here on Tarot and Witchery. It's here. Oh my gosh. Yay. The expansion pack from Naomi Cornock is here. This is her Old Ways Magical Oracle. She has the, I have the original version and she sent me the new version. Thank you, Naomi. I'm a super fan of her work. But today I'm going to do an in-depth on the old version and the new version. So here's how it's going to go. There's going to be 3 sections to this video. You can find links to those sections down below. So here's the original version. There are differences. So all the original cards are in the new version, but there are new ones. There are 38 in the original, and there are 49 in the new. And if you're wondering whether it's worth it to order this, because you can't just order the expansion pack, you have to order the new deck. There are differences. She has done a little something different with some of the original cards in here that she put in here. So I'm going to do section number 1. I'm going to do a side-by-side. So you can see every card. You can see all the detail. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to pull out the brand new cards as we go. Then there's a section on just the brand new cards. And then I'm going to have a section on why I use this deck and what I use it for and like how I use it. It's just a quick section, but if you're wondering how might I use this in my collection, you know, how's this gonna dovetail with my tarot or my other oracles, I'm going to talk about that. I'm excited to announce that Naomi will be coming on my channel. We'll be having an interview together. I'll be able to ask her about the deck, the Old Ways Magick Oracle. And if you have questions that you want me to ask her, then post them down below. Please let me know. This deck is so fabulous and it'll be just fun to ask her about it, ask her about her process, and to really pick her brain about what inspired her to make such an incredible gift to the collective. The links to all of Naomi's sites, like she's on Instagram, she's on Facebook, and then her website itself where you can order the deck is down below. She also has individual art, so if you find that you love some of these, you can buy a print from her. She is an amazing artist, and I'm just so excited to be sharing this moment with you. Let's jump into it. Here it is. Really excited. The new bag. Okay, so here's the new one. Here's the old bag. So you can see the differences right there. So you'll know the difference in your editions, which I really love the idea of. The box is the same. You can see the cute little, I love this little peekaboo. As we can see here, the backs are the same. The cards are the same size. I'm going to look at the differences in the decks as we go. If you've never seen this deck, I talk about it at length in my magical oracles, 3 magical oracle decks. But I'm gonna talk about it here too. Okay, so here we have the first thing that's different between the new deck and the old version is that she has now numbered them. So you will find that they are numbered in the book. Also, I would say the old book is like thinner. The pages are, the front cover is thinner and the cover is a little nicer on the new one. Yeah, just lovely. Here we have community, the magic of these cards. This is really the Old Ways Magick Oracle. It is so incredibly lovely. There is so much going on in each one of these cards. It's hard to see all of it on here, but there's just tons of tiny little details that are in the cards, and the more you spend time with them and the more you path work into them, the more detail you see in the cards themselves. It's amazing. Okay, so here's where we depart, and we have a brand new card here. We have the Spark. So I'm just going to turn this over so it's not distracting. We have the Spark, a brand new card, absolutely gorgeous. There is so much going on in this card. It is mind-blowing how much there is going on in here. Gorgeous. Let's look at number 5 really quickly here. The book has not really changed much. It's the format of the book, in case you're interested. This one here, Spark, is Imbolc. So she now has all the Sabbats from the Pagan Wheel in here. So Imbolc, and this is Brigid. It says, Brigid holds the spark of life in her hands and sings the land awake again. We say goodbye to the winter crone, greet the spring maiden to bless the seeds for a bountiful future harvest. Then she has in here, there's the welcome. Open yourself to the spark of inspiration when it comes. And all of them have a welcome, a warning, and wisdom. The warning of this one is you may feel unmotivated or blocked from new ideas. And the wisdom is listen to the song of the land, nurture the spark, and you will be inspired. Listen to the song of the land. Look at her listening to the song of the land. So here you can see a distinct difference between the old version and the new version. She has closed up, like pulled the image a little bit forward, so it's a little bit larger. And you'll see that on some of the images here. Freedom. This one looks exactly the same. The horses. Gentle. Gentle. Oh my goodness. Just breathtaking artwork. It honestly, I'm transported every time I pull this deck out. I have such a deep, soulful experience that transcends my conscious mind and really goes into the deepest parts of myself. There's something so ancient about this work that she has channeled. Here again, we have a new card in the deck. So you have the trees here. Oh, it's just beautiful. And this is the card that comes right before the Ostara card. So this is kind of like right on the brink of the equinox. So just everything that the earth is doing at this time, you have like under here, and then you have her rising. Look at that, rising up from the earth. Then you have Connect, which is the Ostara card. You have the theme of the rabbit or the hare in here. Amazing. And you will see again that she is closed up on the image a bit in here, so it's a little bit larger. So you are getting a different deck. If you are thinking about reordering this deck, you will be getting a different deck. It's not exactly the same. Just all of the elements. For those of you that are into dragons, this is the card that deals with dragons. And the dragons are down in here. There's all sorts of different dragons inside this card, and she talks about them in there. So just beautiful. Playful. You've got the otter. The different moons up there. Okay, we have a new card here, Harmony. When you have bees, you understand what it's like to be in a hive mind, having a completely different type of mind, a completely different type of understanding. This is a truly egalitarian way of living. And reflect. Oh, and you can see again, she's closed up. She's made this a little bit closer. The Lovers. This is the Beltane card. You might say Beltane, I say Beltane. That's just the way I learned it. When I need to really open myself up to tapping into ancient wisdom, doing ancestral work, or going beyond anything that my mind can understand, I use this deck. This deck takes me out of my mind, and into such a deep primal place that I connect to a place without words. And that's what's just so beautiful about her work. The Strength card, the boar is a sacred Celtic animal, and I love that she chose the boar for strength. If you have the Druid craft, you know that the Strength card, she has a wild boar and not a lion. We have another new card here. Leap. Sovereignty. This is one of my favorite cards. I love this idea of sovereignty, and I know that some people don't like her eyes, but I do. It's something that I really appreciate about this sovereignty card, that her eyes are not like our eyes. Looking into her face is not like looking into our own face. Growth. Get the green man there. Nurture. This is so amazing, and you will notice down here the Sheila Nagig down here. Look at that. Just beautiful. It's like the light. The eye is drawn to the opening of the womb, and the womb itself full, and it's like this portal that you're drawn into, and the symmetry up here of the trees. Liminal here. Liminal is new as well. This is a space that I think all of us who work with cards are trying to tap into constantly, is that liminal space, the space between worlds, the space where we move out of ourselves yet stay slightly tethered, and we are between both worlds. We have a chance to look at both worlds. Nature and its Carnunus, and I believe this is Litha. It is. This is Litha. So we have Carnunus, we have the sun here, we just have this blazing fire. And I think that's what's so powerful about this deck, is that in many ways it is so otherworldly. She has captured the otherworldly nature that is offered to us as we have this experience here and draw on our own magic and draw into these different experiences. We are reminded that this is not the only realm to be a part of. Here we have ground, and again you'll see that it is larger. She's enlarged it. And Wild Mage, this is just so beautiful. Look at this down here. Just gorgeous. Beautiful. Wisdom with the owl. Knowledge with the murder of crows. Farsight. Look at this. Gorgeous. The world. So here she's gone from world to the world, which I like. I think is beautiful. We have a new card, the Cauldron, and we have Caradwen. There is a beautiful story about this card. If you go to her Facebook page, you'll be able to read about it. This is just the most fabulous Caradwen card. She actually worked with a priestess of Caradwen to create this card. And you can just see the connection to the goddess herself in here is so powerful. I love how the hen is seated up here on her head. Just gorgeous. And then of course, all the attributes of the story are within there. And then you'll see down here, there's the child in the cauldron, in the womb. There's Taliesin. Pathways. Oh, this is another favorite for me. To me, this is Ellen of the Ways, who I have a really deep connection with. Heart, there's the white stag, the fabled white stag. Offerings. Gorgeous. And you know, it's so interesting to see this color palette, all of the watercolor palette here coming in. Bounty. I love this card as well. You keep saying I love this card. I just love this deck. This deck is so beautiful, so fabulous. All right. Illuminate. You know, this is funny. This is a card that I have never once drawn. And there's actually probably 4 cards that I've never drawn. And I always find that really interesting. Do you ever have that where you have a deck and you're like, I've never drawn this card ever. I've never gotten it. So it'll be interesting to see when I finally do get it. Clarity with the fox. The depths. Wild voices. This is a thrilling card to me. I can feel the call when I look in here. I can hear it, and I have a very profound connection to the stag. So yes, just being called by the wild into the wood. She has spent so much time to actually channel these works. Oh, this is a new one too. Retribution. And this one is interesting. I'm curious, down below, tell me, who do you see in this card? If you are familiar with different deities, who's the first deity that comes to mind for you? Here she says she is Mara, Hecate, Kali Ma, or the Morrigan. Cleanse. And you can see that she's again closed up on it just a little bit. Just a little bit, so you get a bit of a closer look at everything that's going on here. Battle ready. Here's the Morrigan. And the Morrigan and I have a sort of an arm's length relationship with one another. How many of you, anybody out there, have a relationship with the Morrigan? Is this your patron deity, or do you work with the Morrigan? Endure. Again. And you may recognize the Kaliak here. Just gorgeous, that ancientness in there. This is actually Samhain right here. Cleanse is Samhain. I should have probably said that. I love that, the cleansing energy. Coming to the end here, Omen. Oh my goodness. The banshee, the wailing, the cry, the wail that heralds the change, the death. Death. Grief. Now, it's interesting because we have death and grief. You can see that grief is a little bit larger. You can see just a little bit more of what's going on in here. Then we come to this, which is Yule. So I love that we have death, grief. So we have death, then we grieve it, and then we have contemplation at Yule when the sun is reborn. So much going on in this contemplate. Like if you really... And lastly, Journey's End. And that's the end of the deck. Again, I love the boar here. Beautiful. You've got the sun and the moon in the same, at Journey's End, in the same sky. All right, let's get a better look at these new cards. Number 5, the Spark. The spark that lights us up. There's really Rebirth. This is the card that comes right before, I believe, wait, before I speak out of turn. Yeah, Rebirth comes right before the Ostara card. I love that the hair has already showed up and you see her rising out of the earth. Magical world. She's done so much to channel these pieces of art in a way that It's truly profound. It's really a gift to the collective. Harmony here with the bees. Working with them is such a gift, and I feel so honored to watch them and work with them and care for them. The source. Leap of faith. Got the salmon here. And I just feel like, look at, here's the migration upriver. And here, this is the only place in the deck where you see a 3-card progression of 3 new cards. So 23, 24, and 25 are all brand new. And I find it a really fascinating progression that she has moved into here. Nurture. I just love how the eye is drawn to this source of light that is coming forth from the womb. And then down here we have Sheila Nagig. 24 liminal. And I'm going to put these up next to each other in a moment. But liminal here, the space that we jump into as card readers, that space where we are moving between the worlds so that we can see between the conscious and the unconscious, or between realms, and how we use our cards to do that. And then nature, this is actually the Litha card as well. She has all the sabbats in here. So nature, and here's Cernunnos. Now what I find interesting, this kind of little nurture and nature with the liminal between the two. I find that perfect, just perfect. The two sort of divine feminine, divine masculine, if you will, forces at work, and that liminal between the two, which connects them. They are always connected. I found that just positively brilliant on her part, just brilliant. The Cauldron with Caradwen, and this is such a beautiful card. There is so much going on here. Love the hen on the head. You have all the aspects of the myth itself in here, the salmon, all of the different ones, the hound, everything. But I love the hen here sitting on top of her head. The Cauldron down here, the womb itself with Taliesin down in there. It's just gorgeous. She worked with a priestess of Caradwen on this card who has since passed. So I think this is beautiful. I wish I could remember her name. I think she worked with her on this card, and I feel like her connection with Caradwen is really felt in here. And you can just, the power of the goddess herself. And man, the eyes on here, perfect choice for Caradwen. Wild Voices, you know, this might be right off the bat one of my favorite new cards, honestly, because I have a connection to the stag and owl. But this is that call into the space outside of myself, into the wilds, into the place where I'm drawn back to my primal self. I just feel it. Retribution. And it's kind of interesting. She lists several different goddesses for this, but I'm curious as to what your initial instinct is, what goddess you see here. If you see Hecate, if you see the Morrigan, if you see Kali Ma, who do you see in this, in the retribution? Omen, and you've got the Banshee. Perfect. I keep hitting this same thing with my wand. The Banshee, I think this was a great choice for Omen because it's a powerful omen that you just can't deny. And I think a good omen is like that, like, wow, that really was an omen. I go out on omen walks and I'm always happy when I feel like my omens are very powerful. And this is that illustrated perfectly. Contemplate. And Contemplate is actually the Yule card perfect time for contemplation. That space with the lowest amount of light, the sun being reborn at that time, and the myriad of things that are going on here. And that's exactly what contemplation is like. If you didn't watch the card by card because you already have the deck, I just want to say that there are differences between the old cards. Like, she's done something different with some of the old cards and it gives it a new flair. So if you're buying the new deck, you'll find that you do have two new decks. You do have two different decks. They're not exactly the same. Same cards are in the original deck, are in the new deck as well. She's just put a little bit, some of them are a little bit more enlarged. They're from different angles. So you might want to check that out. Again, I just want to quickly share here why I love this deck so much. Many of you know that I study Druidry. This deck draws on the power of the earth. It draws on the ancientness that is found within each one of us. Maybe you see it as carrying it in your DNA, but within our body, we carry all of the elements and the ancient power that is contained in those elements. And we're crafted together in this. And I feel like this deck here is crafted together in such a way that it calls on the ancientness of what we know without words within ourselves. It calls me out of a space where I'm thinking that I know something into a place of knowing through being. And again, a lot of times it's without words. These cards, when I use them, and I have to say, I don't, this is not an everyday deck for me. This deck is a deck that's super powerful, and I use it when I want to be in that powerful place of knowing my own self. I use it for magic. I'm going to take it to Wales with me. I'm going to Wales in May. If you're seeing this after May of 2024, I've already been there, but I'm taking this to Wales with me because I know that this is going to be such an incredible part of my trip. I'm really excited to bring it. And I know that it will connect with the land in ways that bring me to myself and allow me to get my mind out of the way. So if you're looking for a deck that draws you into something that is so incredibly powerful and yet known within yourself, but somehow silenced by the busyness of this world, this deck will do that for you. These cards are wonderful for pathworking. If you don't know what pathworking is, it's where you, sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus here. It's being kind of weird. It's wonderful for pathworking. Pathworking is when you use the card and you look at it and then you meditate your way into the card and into the elements that are in the card and you allow them to speak and you just take a journey. So if you're into any kind of journeying practices, I think you'll find that this is fabulous. It's wonderful. These are wonderful as altar cards. Honestly, they're really great because they speak to the power of the time that you're in. And a lot of times you can sit and go through and find a card that speaks to where you are right now and put it on your altar. Maybe you draw something and you journal on it for a while. These are great for month ahead, like the whole month ahead. Like what kind of power? You can use my power cards. Perfect for power cards, you guys. If you haven't seen my power card video, check that out. But the power that you're drawing on for the month, or maybe the lesson of the month that you're learning, or the week. You know. Special thanks to Naomi for sending me this deck. I'm a super fan of hers. And I just want to encourage you to check the links below to order a copy of the deck. For me, I now have both versions of the deck, and I'm happy to have both. Honestly, they are different, and I think I will use them differently. Also, I have so much energy into the original one that I will be keeping them both for sure. So check out those links below. Until we meet again, when you are needing to know yourself, when you are needing to understand the power that is there, when you're needing to draw on something that is beyond what you know yourself to be with your conscious mind, and you need to go to the unconscious, may you find a deck as powerful as this one that will help you get there and get out of the way and into your place of power.